ES6 and a lot of things are remaining in ES6. And ES6 is a must to start with React. The next week is React. Start with React next week. It's a must. So let's get started with the our day number 5 and ES6. So because I think there are a lot of things to cover. Okay, so let's start. Okay, let me share my screen.
I'm sick and tired of
One
people
sec.
telling me to go slow.
Forget about that. We've been doing this.
There was something was running. Right. Okay. So yeah. So what we're going to do? Again, we are going to open the JSBin. Okay, not JSBin. Okay, let me also open one more thing. Google slide. Okay, because I want to show something, but you're going to do right now. So we are done till here. So we are going to learn about spread operators now. We have seen the rest operator. Spread operator, just like the rest operator, that 3 dots are there. But the thing is that it is a bit opposite of the rest operator, which takes an array and converts it into a list of arguments. So let us see what it does. So that we are going to do with JSBin again, JSBin. And this all JSBin, I'm putting it in the description, so you'll get it from there. JavaScript and console I'm going to do. And now the spread operator. SPREAD operator. Spread operator. And spread operator, as I've told, it's the opposite of it. Suppose the first thing which you're going to start with the spread operator is suppose we have an array and we want to find the minimum and maximum of the array. So suppose we have something like let a equal to 9 comma 2 comma 5 comma 1 comma 8. Okay, so like this I have. Okay, so then now I want to find the minimum. Let us find the minimum of it. So how to find the minimum of it? Okay, so there are a lot of ways to find the minimum of it, but there is a very good function known as math.min. So with that, we can find the minimum of it. But the problem with that function is an inbuilt function. The problem with that is that it can find the minimum of only the parameters which are passed. So like this console.log, let me show what it actually does. Math.min, I'll do. Then I'll do like this, and then this thing I'll do math.min like this thing, and this thing will work like this one. Math.min works like this one. I cannot pass this array here. Okay, so how we pass that array? So we pass the array here, and I don't want to pass get a minimum of some argument or something. Okay, I want to get the minimum of some array only. So what we can do here, we can use the spread operator, which takes an array and converts it into a list of arguments. Exactly what we need. So we are going to do that. Console.log of math.min and dot a. Okay, and here it, run it. This is there. Similarly, so what it will do, it will take this array and convert it to something like this. Okay, so that is there. Now we can also find the max of it. Math.max. Let it, run it. The max is also fine. So this is how it works. Okay, so that is there, and welcome all, and attendance will be given at the end. Okay, so that is that. Today's the final day. Okay, and now what? Now there is a very important thing to tell in spread is actually used more than the rest operator. But now I'm going to tell you one thing, which is a very big computer science problem, not just a JavaScript problem, but a computer science problem. Whenever there is a problem known as so anyone who is a computer science student knows about this thing, or anyone who is not, it's okay. No need to share some such match that I don't know that. Okay, so if you're a computer science student, you will know about this. There is a very tricky computer science. There is known as call by value and call by reference, or copy by value and copy by reference. So those two things are there: copy by value and copy by reference. So what happens in computer science and all, when you declare a variable, okay, and declare a variable, make it equal to something, variable, array, or anything, and when you make some other variable equal to it, doesn't copies the value of it, it copies the reference of it. Reference is I have told this earlier also. What happens whenever you declare a variable or declare an array, there is a, in the RAM of the computer, there is a MAC address has been given to it. So this is something like basic electronics and computer science, all of this. All in it, it is in engineering and all, we have been taught this. I think in other things also it has been taught. So in the MAC address has been done. And then what happens if you make something equal to that, it will point to that address. Some pointers are there. Okay. So let us see. Let us see the problem first. The problem is that, okay, so okay, copy by reference problem. And this problem is not only in JavaScript, every other programming language it is. Then every other programming language solve it in a different way. Okay, so let x equal to, suppose the same thing I am doing. Okay, and I will actually comment this out. I don't want so much. Okay, so now I want to copy. I want to create a new array which is equal to x. So I'll do a let y equal to x. The most obvious way to do it like this. Most people will do it like this. And let y equal to x. Now I will push something in y. Our newly created array, I push something into that. Okay, so I will push maybe 13. 13 I'll push. Then I'll do a, let me do a console dot log of y and console dot log of x. So these two things I'm going to clear it, run it. So see now what happened. Y is also 13, which is obviously I pushed y, but x is also 13. Why does this happen? See, this happened because this is doing a copy by reference, not a copy by value. Copy by reference means when I given this statement in the RAM of the computer, array is been created like this, and anyway x will point to the first MAC address, something like that. Okay, so then when I do y equal to x, what it does, it doesn't take a copy of it and create a new copy of it. No, it doesn't does that. It, what a pointer kind of thing is been created which points to the MAC address which x is was also doing. So that's why whenever we change, so they're both of them are interlinked now. So whenever I change something in the y, the x will change, and vice versa. So this is not a good thing to happen. We never wanted to do this thing. We generally people, we programmers, we never wanted to do this copy by value because we don't want to change the original value. Nobody wants to change the original value. It gives very big bugs. So there are different ways to solve. Even for ES6 there were actually different ways to solve this. But here how we solve it, we solve it by spread operator and solution by spread, and this is, and this will do the copy by value. Copy by value it will do. So let c equal to, let me copy the same thing again, or maybe here I will add a 7 also so that you can see 7 like this. I'll do, then let b equal to, I'll not do the now that thing, I'll do a dot c. But dot c I'll do, it will spread it like this 92517. Like if I do this thing, it will spread it something like this. Okay, it will spread it like this if I do dot that thing. Okay, so I don't want to have that thing because I want it inside another array. So what I will do here, this I will wrap it with an array like this. So first what it is going to do, it is going to spread the array. See, it is going to spread, then it will put into an array. Now these things do the copy by value thing. Okay, so now I will do a d dot push 20, and now I do the console dot log of b and console dot log of c, and do, and now let it run it and see. In D only this 20 is passed, C is untouched. So this is now copy by value is done. So when something like this happens, it will obviously create a copy, means it will create a new address and it will do that. So this is how we do it with spread, and this is a very important thing. So whenever developers nowadays do this copy, which is a very common thing in programming, they do it by this way. Okay, so that is there. Now spread operators can be used to merge one or two more merge arrays also. How we can do that? Spread operator to merge. Spread operator to merge. Spread operator to merge. Okay, so let us have a let x1 equal to, we'll have maybe small part of it, 9 and 2, and I will give a comma, and x2 I'll do, and it will be equal to like 5 and 1, comma x3 equal to, and 7 and 8. You might be seeing that I'm giving this comma. You can give this comma also. Okay, so everything will let. So this is not just in JavaScript, and I think in most programming language we can do it like this. Okay, so now I want to merge these three arrays. So how I'm going to merge it? So let b1 equal to, now we will merge through this copy by value way only. So d dot 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 x1 comma dot 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 x2 comma dot 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 x3. I'll do this thing, and now I'll do a console.log of b1. I'll go do console.log of b1 and clear it, run it. So anyways, I should actually comment this out, or else it is too much confusing. I'll comment this out, clear it, or I should add a 10 also here. Right, it is a bit different. Okay, so let's see, it is done. So this is how we merge through the spread operator. So now we can use this in object also. So we'll use this in object. So I'll do this used in object. Actually, using an object is a very important thing, because we are going to do this in React using in object. So first thing, we are going to see how to do the copy. So let us do that. Let obj1 equal to foo bar comma x is 42, like this. And now I will copy it. Okay, copying is also known as cloning. Everything has got a meaning in programming. So copy wise, so I will do like CLO. First let me write this thing, that then I will tell why it is known as cloning. So dot 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 obj1. Okay, so I do now console.log cloned obj, and I will clear it, run it. So it is cloning. And the other thing is similar to that. I'm not going to show it again. So it is just a clone or a copy of it. And why clone? Okay, I was going to tell why clone. Why it is clone? Because cloning means everything is, as I've told, everything is taken from the real life only. So clone means what? A clone, Dolly the clone shape, we all know. Okay, so when clone someone only, when clone someone, means animal or something, they're actually copy of the original. But they are not the original. That is a different entity. The original thing is a different entity. They behave differently, they are different. Just like two twins brother, they're copy of each another, but both of them are different identities. So that's why this clone word is taken from that. Clone is to copy. So this clone word in programming is taken from there. Okay, so that is there. Good evening, Gangadhar. So now we are going to learn about the merging. So merging also we are going to learn. So let us do that. Again, the merging, I will have another obj2 equal to foo bars comma y 13 this, and then let merged obj equal to, so merging is also done like the your array, like the array what we're doing, but here everything you have to have this in the curly bracket, because that is how object is. Dot 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 obj1 comma dot 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 obj2 going to do, and then console dot log merged obj, merged obj, and let us, okay, actually let me comment this out. This merged obj, what is coming here? Because see this foo is the same here. X and y are different. X and y are different, but foo, the latest one, is taken. Why? Because there is a property of object that the key should always be unique. I cannot have two keys like foo. That is a property of an object. So the second one is taken. So foo of bars is taken. Okay. So that is there. And now we're done with this. Now the next thing we're going to do is the template literals. Template literals we are going to do. But the thing is that we already learned about the template literal, the tactics we already learned about that earlier. So I'm not going to tell about it again. So the next thing which we are going to learn is, like, if I come here, is the object destructuring. Object destructuring is again thing in which ES6 thing in which it's a shortcut. It is not like a something which you should always use and all. Okay, it's a shortcut kind of thing, but it is used a lot. A lot of programmer will use array destructuring. So let us see array destructuring and object destructuring. Both of them we're going to see. So I'll come here and do a JSBin. Okay. JavaScript console I will go, and here I'll go and do a array destructuring and do array destructuring. Const RGB equal to 255 comma 200 comma 0, and like this const R. So the main thing of any array thing is that I want to get all of this thing in three different variables. So there are three items in this array. I want to get all of them in three different variables. So I can do it very easily, like R equal to, and I can write red also, it doesn't matter. Okay, R equal to RGB, and through the index I'll do it 0. Then I'll do a const G equal to RGB 1, const E equal to RGB of 2. Like this I'll do. Okay, so it is like this. We can do it, and then console dot log of R comma T comma B I'll do, and if I run it, it will give me this thing. Okay, this is the obvious way. This is the older way. But there is a shortcut in ES6 to do this thing. Instead of writing these three statements, what I'm going to write, first let me comment this out because I don't want them to occur. Instead of writing these three separate statements, I'm going to do a different, a weird kind of a syntax. Const R comma G comma B equal to RGB. Okay, equal to RGB. So what it will do? It will do this first element, the same thing which is there above I have written. The first element it will put it in R, second it will put it in G, third it will put it in B. And if I clear it and run it, it will show me this thing. So this is what is known as array destructuring. So now we are going to look into object destructuring. Object destructuring, again, object destructuring is also very important, and it is used in React a lot, because React, the state, when we're going to learn React, when you're going to, I generally teach class-based React first. In that there is a this dot state, which is an object. So objects are used a lot in React. So object destructuring, const developer equal to first name is Bindu, last name is Biswas, and country is India, like this. And now come here, and I want to get again access. So this thing is there. I want to get access to all these three variables. So in array, how do we get access? In array, we get access through like const. Suppose I will give the same thing as again. Okay, a variable f also I can give, but I will give the first name equal to developer dot first name. like this. Last name equal to developer dot last name, and country is developer dot country. I've taken. Now I can get it easily. Console dot log first name, comma last name, comma country, like this. And so this is done, and now I will clear it and run it, and it will give me Nabindu Viswas India. Okay, again there is a shortcut for it, and the shortcut is exactly similar to this. Okay, so instead of writing this 3 long statements, what I can do, I can go here and write a const in this bracket. I will go and I'll write first name, last name, and country, like this. Again the same way it is done, like this, and I will have to equal it to developer, like this, and then I will clear it, run it, it will give me the same thing. So this is the array destructuring and object destructuring. Okay, so that is there. Now what we are going to do, so we're going to see one last topic before starting with the main topic, which is the array helper method, because they are something which are used in React a lot. Lot means a lot, everywhere, and they are, because of that JavaScript is so much powerful nowadays, because we have very good array helper method. Those who don't know, array helper methods are very important, because array is one of the major type in almost every programming language, and in the internet, on the internet when the APIs are there, array are very important. Array and objects, they are the backbone of the internet. Whenever we do some API call, you generally get it as an array of object. So array of object is the backbone of the internet. 90% of the API request you will get it as an array of object. So what is an array of objects? I have told a lot of times. Let me tell again on JSO and JSON placeholder. So this is a very common use endpoint which you always use. So see, this is the most common way to travel data in the internet, which is an array of object. Array, why we give it inside an array? Because when you give it array, each of the item is an okay, each of the item is an object, but it is very easy to iterate over a object. Okay, over an array with this indexing thing, and it is very easy to store data in an object. So even the big e-commerce site like Amazon and all of them, they have like this only. Means all the, in homepage you'll go for Amazon, all the products and all those things will have something like this only. Okay, so that is there. So we are going to learn about now about ES6 before going to array. So ES6 classes. Okay, what is this ES6 classes? So in 2015, JavaScript is a function-oriented language. Okay, but in 2015, they tried to compete with Java, but they were already ahead from Java, a lot ahead. But they thought that why not get more ahead than Java, and why not introduce this classes also in ES6? So they introduced classes in ES6, but the classes in ES6 actually, it is a old concept only. Internally, nothing changed. There is a constructor function concept in JavaScript, which is a bit difficult, and I'm not going to tell that now. With old JavaScript, is actually very difficult. So those are there, and now the classes were introduced. And classes, you'll see those who are coming from Java or C++ background, they will see that the classes are exactly what we have in Java and C++. Although we don't have the very big features like polymorphism, a lot of things are not there because Java is still a function oriented language. Okay, so those things are there, but some to a lesser extent. And actually this experiment is also failing. So in 2022 it is failing because the biggest use of JavaScript nowadays is in the framework of React. Okay, when they introduced classes in ES6, Angular and React, both of them were first to pick it up. And React had this class-based component in it, and Angular still have classes in this. Angular have not changed, but React, those who know, React is moving toward functional component, hook-based functional component, because this class experiment in React failed badly because the classes were doing a lot of wrong things in React. It was making React harder because there is a problem with this keyword. We're going to see that this keyword. So every framework in nowadays, they want to make programming very easy. Okay, so because of that, this keyword and all, used to cause the programming a bit tougher. So nobody wants those things. Okay, nobody wants to have the programming syntax very tough. Okay, a classic example again is that I was doing some shift programming, and before shift is used to create iOS apps. Shift is also very easy. It is like easy like Python and JavaScript. And before Shift, there was another language known as Objective C. It's a pure C syntax and even tougher than that syntax. And because of that, Apple had to drop it. Not drop it. Apple had to change to Shift in 2015. Before 2014, everything was made in Shift, Objective C. And Objective C is very very difficult to pick up. The syntax is way too tougher. I've seen that thing. So every framework language everyone wants to make the programming simple so that more people can adopt it. So with class in React, people are finding it a bit difficult. So React is that's a moving to functional component, but class-based React is still there, and we will learn it. I always teach like that. So next week is React. This week we will do first 3 days class-based React, and next 2 days hook-based React. Hook-based React is very small. Okay, so that is there, and let us do the classes now. So I'll do a JSBin again, and come there JavaScript console. I'll do, and then here ES6 classes with constructors. Constructor is much more relevant. So class, as with any other language, starts with the class keyword. Class create room, and class you should always give it as a capital. Okay, this in JavaScript most of the time you'll see that we are using camel casing, but here please don't use camel casing. Your classes are meant to be used like this only. Okay, so it is known as Pascal case between. Okay, something which is very popular in Java. Okay, so that is there. Create room I have done. Then I will have something known as a constructor. Constructor is something which will run initially when this class is initiated. Means initiated means when we create some object, and this object is a different object which I'm going to show. Okay, so constructor is there, and name I'm going to do, and name is there, and then there is a this dot room. So what is this dot room? What is this keyword? I have very good YouTube video on this keyword. You can find that this what is this and all. Okay, and the other thing is that this dot room is there. Okay? This dot room is there, and you might think this keyword gives sort of like a global kind of access to this. What it does, it will give a sort of access to it, like it it is used to create variables. Okay, and it is used to create variables. That variable I can have access at a different parts of the class or something. So when I was teaching JavaScript at the start, I told that everything is like a functional is, even the var is a functional scope. Means it cannot go outside a function, and everything else is a block scope. So this scoping thing is very difficult to break. So scoping thing you can break with this keyword. Okay, so within whole of the classes I can use this keyword at different parts when I declare some variable. In a simple layman term is that even the var cannot be used in this kind of cases, but then also this will cause some problems in some cases which we are going to see maybe later on. Means when we're going to do React. Okay, so this dot room is just how we name the variable. Then I will come here and do a dollar name and names room I'm going to do, and then I'll come here, and after this constructor I'll do a clean room soap. I'm going to do. Okay, in classes we have a constructor, and we can have functions also inside the classes. They're also known as methods here. Okay, so soap I'll do, and console dot log of cleaning dollar this dot room. See, now I'm accessing this dot room inside a different function. If I was using a var or something, I could not have accessed it here because the scope would have ended from here till here, but I can use it here also, this dot room. Okay, with dollar soap dollar soap is there. Okay, so now classes, how we use it. So classes we use by creating objects of this is a different object. This is a class object. This is not a JavaScript object. So I will create some const and a es room equal to new create room main 2. Okay, like this. Let us create some other rooms also, and this will be a room. This will be HRIDA. Another room. It will be HRIDA. Now, see, when I create object, these are known as objects, and these objects are created with the new keyword. So when I create it with the new keyword, see what happens, this will run here, and this constructor will run, and this constructor will have a this dot room, and it will assign this dot rooms to Nabindu's room. So classes are also a sort of a wastage also. So okay, so a very classical thing is that classes are known as a blueprint, and this is known blueprint, maybe a blueprint of a car. So very popular example, blueprint of a car. Classes are a blueprint of a car, and this is maybe a car, this is a car. So each one of them is a car. So when we create it with this car, we created with this objects are known as car, so it has got this blueprint and all. But the problem here is that, which is the problem with object oriented programming also and classes also, each of this car will get its own value, each of this will have its own value. So this dot room, it will have its private this dot room, it will have its private clean room. So it will have its own instance. Like if I have hundreds of objects, it will have create hundreds of instance. So in when I create this object, I'm not going to deep dive into classes because they are not originally in JavaScript and all, and they are not also that much they're used, but they are not, we don't deep dive that much into that. If you want to know much about them, you can go to Java or C++, but we don't deep dive that much. But then also I'm trying to explain it. Okay, so when I create this new room, naps room, so it will have its own this dot room. This Shikha room, it will have its own this dot room. This will have its own this dot room. When it will have its own this dot room and its own clean room also. We are going to see how that will happen. So I'll come here and do a naps room dot. So if you want to run some function, we have to always run it with the object. So this naps room I have to do, and then I have to do a clean room, and I'll do a, I have to pass some soap here. I'll do a domex like this, and then this will be classroom and Lysol and all. So if I run it, see what will happen. Cleaning Nabindu's room. So this clean rooms. First this object will create, then this clean room will be gone. Then cleaning this dot room, because I'm calling it with this naps room object, it will do the Nabindu's room in domestica's room. So this is very important. So it is getting its own this dot thing. It is getting its own this dot room's name. So this is its own because of it has its own this dot room. Okay, when you create this object. So this is something about objects. Although we use it in React, we don't use it so complicated way, means we won't create any object and all. You're going to see that. Okay, in React we're not going to see use it in such a complicated way. Okay, so that is there. And then we are going to look into the last topic, but it's a bit longer topic, is the array helper method. So there are some array helper method. Actually we are going to learn a bit more than this. We're going to like for each, map, filter, reduce, and all this. So I was always telling that for each is a very important thing. Okay, and let us see why for each is the important thing, and let us start now. So we are going to start again a JSBin. Okay, JSBin.com, and I'm going to go to JavaScript console and output. I'm going to go away, and then suppose I will create a classical for loop. Classical for loop I'm going to create. So suppose I will create a let family equal to do and then I'll do. Okay, so now there will be a for loop. Okay, for let I equal to 0. So the classical for loop means how we are going to loop through it. Okay, so classical for loop I'm going to do for I equal to 0, I is less than family dot length and I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus, and then console dot log of family I am going to use. Okay, so family I am going to use. So this is the classical way to do it. Okay, so a lot long way and I'll do it and it will give me. So this is the classical way to do it. But this for each is actually a shortcut way, and for each is something which works only on arrays. Okay, only on arrays it will work, not anything else. Traditional for loop can work on anything else also. Classical for loop, traditional for loop. So for each, what happens? We use the arrow functions a lot in the all of this array methods. We use the arrow function a lot. Okay, so I'll use a family dot for each camel case is c, e is capital, so it's a camel casing. Then I can give anything like item or anything, but let's give something cool because it's a family, so I'll give a member. But this can be I also, item also, anything it can be. Then I'll do this arrow function. It's an arrow function. Actually it's if it is more than one statements, we need return also. And this is something which I have told when I was telling this arrow function. There is a condensed arrow function. This is sort of condensed arrow function because in React we love condensed arrow functions. Condensed arrow function because React we like to have one liner codes. Okay, so then I will have a console.log of member. Okay, I will comment this out. Now I will clear it and run it and it will come like this. So this whole thing I have replaced with this thing. Okay, but one thing to remember is that this is a function I'm giving here. So this is a function. This is an arrow function, but it's a function. So this is how the classical for loop is there, and means classical for loop and a for each is there. And the for each, one thing to remember is that it doesn't return something. It is not updating this original array and all. Okay, so because there is something which happens in a, we are going to see the map case now. Okay, map also we're going to see the uses. So map is something new which is there. For each we all know, but there is something known as map, and actually map is used more in React than for each also. So we're going to do the map use case first, obviously. So but there are very good map use cases also in React. What we take, I'm going to tell. Okay, let us first see the example. So let numbers equal to 6 comma 8 comma 10, and I'll have a let BOUBLED doubled nums equal to. So what I'm doing actually here, I want to get the double of my use cases like this. I have a numbers array. I want to get array back which will having these numbers as double. So 6 should be 12, 8 should be 16, 10 should be okay, 10 should be 20. Okay, whatever is there. Okay, so that is there. Okay, 10 into 2. Okay, and everything into 2. Okay, so double of it. So what I'm going to do in the normal way before ES6, what I need to do. So for that, in before ES6 we used to declare a lot of temporary variables. Like this is a temporary kind of a variable. So I declared an empty array. Then I will do a for let I equal to 0. I is less than numbers dot length I plus plus and BOUBLED doubled nums dot push, double num dot push, double num dot push I'm doing. Then MERS numbers I into 2, numbers I into 2 I'm doing. So double number dot push, so it will come inside, and what it will do, numbers of 0 6 it will take 6 into 2, so it will, I'm pushing that in the double number. So now if I see this console.log of double nums, and this out also and clear it, run it. Okay, it is still showing this thing. Sometimes you have to refresh it. So see, it is getting doubled. Okay, it is getting doubled. So how, this is how it works. So a lot of things I'm doing here. So all these things I'm doing. So a lot of logic I have added. So now we'll do the same thing with the map. So how to do it map? Okay, and one more thing, map always returns something. So I'll have a doubled here is returning something. Okay, it is not like for each you just run it. Okay, it returns something. So let doubled equal to numbers dot map, and it will be, so I can take number or num also, I can take num also, I can anything I can take. Okay, so like this I'll do, and num into 2 I'll do, num into 2, just like this. Okay, the single statement, so I don't have to return on something like this, num into 2. So it will just do the same logic, it will loop through it, and everything, every element it will into 2, and it will return a new array. So that's why I have to catch it, and it will return it. That is very important to understand, it will return it, so I have to catch it. Okay, so run it, and it will give me the double array. So this is how it works, this is how the map works. Okay, so now we are going to look into filter. Filter is again something which is very important, used in React, used in vanilla JavaScript, a lot it is used. Okay, so we are going to, okay, see maybe a array of object, which is so much I'm always telling about the array of object. So filter use case we are going to see. So suppose you have an array of object products, some mobile name and category we have, and this is a very real kind of example also. Why? Because you go to amazon.com, you go to flipkart.com, when you go to the home page, you will get something like this will be written from the API endpoint. Okay, the products array of objects will be written. Suppose there is this MacBook here, there will not be two things only, there will actually at least 5, at least 20, 30 things, like the name, category, price, description, color, and all those things comes into the array. Then there will be image array also will be there, which will contain 3 4 images, and those things are always like that, it works always like that. Okay, so that is there. And okay, let me also show one thing, fake e-commerce API. So there is something known as fake e-commerce API. Okay, this one. Okay, this actually I've used it in one project also. Okay, so this fake e-commerce API is there. So okay, and so we'll see this thing. Okay, these products we're going to see. It is very slow. Why my system is so slow? Okay, let it open. So it opens something like this only. It open. So I want to show this thing, and it is very slow. Maybe I'm doing to, okay, so let us leave it. So it gives something like this array of objects, it will give. Let it let one of it open. Then if it is open, I'm going to show it is not it open. So I want to, suppose I want to filter something out of it, and it is a very common use case. When you go to Amazon site, there are some check boxes, you filter something like this you filter, and when you filter, some real front end logic runs there in the Amazon site or the Flipkart site, whatever site you are there. So that filter logic had to be written by some front end engineer. So before ES6, the front end engineer generally used to write like this. Again, that empty array we have to take, let filtered, I'll do equal to an empty array I have to take, then for let I, first we're going to see how without ES6 what is the problem. I is less than products dot length I plus plus is there, then if, so it will go through each one of them, so it will iterate over each one of them. Products dot length will give me 1 2 3 4. Okay, 1 2 3 4 it will get. So and then from 0 to 3 I will iterate, because first one will start with 0. Then I'll do the products I, product I am going to do product I dot category, products I dot category equal to smart phone. The smartphone I'm going to do, because I want to get all the smartphones. Dot category products, I will give me access to this object. Then I'll do the dot category smartphone, and this will be for the first two cases only. It will match. Okay, if product side dot category equal to smartphone, first two cases it will match. Next two cases it will not match. Then I will do the filtered dot push, and I will push, and then by the end of this loop this will have something, this console.log of filtered. I'll do, and I'll clear it, run it. So it will have this thing, the array of object it will have, and these two things it will have. Okay, anyways, this object, I'll just ignore it. So now this whole so much logic, actually the logic is till this much. So we can ignore this logic. We can, instead of writing all this complicated, all this lot of logic, we are going to use again the filter, and filter also returns something. Okay, so filter I'm going to do, and then here let filtered es6 equal to, again this products dot filter, and let us take product. And what happens in filter, you give again something like this if statement I will give. Okay, and then it will check whether it is correct or not, and whatever is correct it will put in that array. It will put it in that array. So this will be done. Then product dot category equal to smartphone, smartphone, or maybe this time I'll take the laptops, and then console.log of filtered es6, clear it, run it. So all the laptops are coming. So this is how it is done. And one more thing I want to tell here, this filter and map, both of them returns array, means it's returns an array, but there is a difference in that. Okay, in map, if I put an array of length 3, I will get back an array of length 3 only. In filter it is not like that. If I put an array of length 4, I can get an array of length 4 also, 3 also, 2 also, 1 also, and 0 also. Like this I'll do a mobile. Okay, I'll do a mobile, clear it, run. There is nothing like a category of mobile. I'll get an empty array. Okay, but I will get an array, that is for sure. Okay, so that is there, and so this is done now. Okay, so this is still not open, I don't know why. So now what we are going to do, we are going to do, there is something known as sum and average. Okay, sum and average is there, so we are going to learn about that. And before that, let me give the attendance. Mark your attendance here. Mark your attendance here. So yeah, what we're going to do, we are going to learn about sum and average. So what is sum and average? Sum and again we are going to take the same thing, but this time array of object, but this time what I have done, I have added the RAM also in it. Okay, so what is sum and average? Sum and average gives us true or false, and it runs like this. Suppose average is there, average means all of the elements of the array will test something again. So just like a filter will test something, all of the element, whatever test we give, all of the all of the items of that array should fulfill that, then only I will give true. Sum means just like the word sum, if some of the elements are also true, even one of them is true, I'll give true. So let us do that. So let us do that. I'll do a every, good evening, const all device code. Suppose for all device to code, I have a minimum requirement. It is generally there that it should be 8 GB, at least 8 GB it should be there. So that means all device can code. So I will do all device code, and I'll do a devices dot every and device and device dot ram is greater than equal to 8. So now console.log of all device code, I will run it and it will give me false. Why it has given me false? Because not all devices are RAM greater. So it will come here and check these things. So this has got RAM less than 4. So this is not true. So all of them should be like this. Then only it will give me true. If I make it 4, then it will give me true. Not with 8. Okay. So now like this sum, we have like this every we have sum also. So suppose I want to check if some devices can code, some device code. Okay, some device code and here I will have the sum. Here I will have the sum, clear it, run it. So okay, 1 second. Again, sometimes it doesn't give. So the first one is true, this one is false, the second one is true. So it is working. So now we are going to learn about one more thing, which is now the reduce. Actually, reduce is not used that much. Earlier when React this Java ES6 came, everybody thought that the reduce would be used a lot, but reduce is not used that much. And let us see a use case of reduce, classic use case of reduce we are going to see. And maybe before reduce I'm going to show another thing. Okay, I'm going to show the find is also there, so I'm going to show this find. So there is a find, so find also is there. So find use cases, suppose I have this name and all, I have this thing. Okay, so or maybe I will not use this thing. I will use this same devices only. Suppose I want to find this MacBook Air is there or not in the devices and all. So I will use the same thing. We can use the same thing. So in a normal use case, what we are going to do for, okay, suppose I have to make a let MacBook here. Let MacBook. I have a variable let MacBook. So this is the normal way I'm doing. For let I equal to 0 and I is less than devices dot length and I plus plus, then I will do if devices I dot name equal to MacBook Air, then I will do the MacBook equal to devices I, and I will have to use a break statement also. Why break statement? See, suppose there are thousands of records are there and I found the MacBook here, then also it will keep on running, but I don't want it to run after that. I want to break it after that. Okay, so then after this I will just have a console.log of MacBook here, MacBook like this, let it run it and it will give me this. So this is how the normal it works. And again we have a find statements like this, like find we have. So let us use that find. So we'll use that find like first tell back new variable I have to take. So it will be like devices dot find, and then device, again I have to do this like device, and then here I have to use the same thing like this. Okay, so but instead of devices I will have this devic device dot name equal to MacBook Air, and then console dot log of Mac, clear it, run it, and it is coming. So like this it is coming. So this is how this find work. So now we are going to look into reduce. The last thing, reduce, we are going to look reduce. As I told, when ES6 came, so the creator, they always predict something, so that reduce is very powerful. It will be used more than map and all this thing, but map and all those are used more, because sometimes what happens, people try to take whatever is easier. Actually reduce is so much powerful that you can write the map and filter in it. And I have seen nobody use this reduce unless it is there in Stack Overflow and you require it. So that's why we're going to see a very easy example of reduce, and if there is a use case, you will use it. So classic use case of reduce we are going to see. So let numbers equal to 20, 30 and 40. Suppose I want to get the sum of this array, sum of the numbers of the array, and I want to return it as a single thing, like 40 plus 30 plus 20 I want to return. So how to do that in a normal way? So I'll have a var sum equal to 0, then I will have a for let I equal to 0, I is less than numbers dot length I plus plus I'll have, and then sum plus equal to numbers I. So plus equal to means sum equal to sum plus number size. This is a shortcut, and then I'll do a console dot log of sum. Console dot log of sum. I'm going to do clear it, run it, and it will come. It will show me like this. Okay. Now the thing is that we are going to look into the how to convert it into a reduce. We're going to look into that. So let me comment it out, and then I'll go to reduce. I'm going to do again, it returns something. So const sum reduce, I'm going to have this thing, sum reduce equal to numbers dot reduce, and it actually take two parameters. Okay, one is this ACC and one is this current, CURR. ACC means accumulator and current is current. You can write the full form also. And also one more thing, it is having like this. So in all the map reduce and map filter also we could have like this, but we didn't have for a reason. And here it is mostly important because we generally have a parameter like this 0, and I will do a return ACC plus CURR, ACC plus curve. Now if I do the const console dot log of sum reduce, I'm going to do clear it, run it, it will give me 90. But how did it give me 90, and how did this work? So this works because there is something known as the accumulator and current. So let me tell how this reduce work. So reduce work like this. First time this iteration, it will come here and do this thing. So first time this accumulator will be taken as 0, just like I have taken the sum as 0. First time the accumulator will be taken as 0, 0, and the current value is what? Current value is 20. So 0 plus 20 is 20. It will take, because I'm returning this in 0 plus 20, it is doing that like this. Next, the second time the accumulator will be 20 and the current value is 30. It is 20, 30 plus 20 is 50. Next iteration it will be 50 plus 40 equal to 90. So the 90 will be done. So this initial value I can also change it to 10. If I change it to 10, instead of 0 it will start with this and it will be 100. Let me change it back. So this is how this works. So we have done everything. I have told each one of you everything which I know in JavaScript. So this is like everything which is there which I can teach you. Go through this again, then you will be good in JavaScript. And you have to do a lot of JavaScript project to be good in JavaScript. It's not like this all theoretical concept you do, it will be good. Okay, no, you have to do a lot of JavaScript projects, and there are a lot of JavaScript projects on a challenge, on our not challenge, on a channel. There are a lot of JavaScript projects. Do the JavaScript project. Soon, maybe you might be thinking, okay, there is no certification for that. And you challenge all the certification. Maybe soon we are going to get some more JavaScript project. We are going to do the live stream, and I'm planning to have some certification also, because people love certification, and if they by this way they will do this JavaScript project, I'll be happy that those projects will get into their portfolio. You're gonna show these things in your portfolio. Although the certificate you can show, but those JavaScript projects, those CSS projects, those React.js projects, those things give you a job. CSS project, have five CSS projects on your portfolio, have 5 JavaScript projects on your portfolio, have 10 React projects, 2 major projects on your portfolio. Show them on LinkedIn, you get a job. There is no one in the world who can stop you from getting a job. Whether you're from a civil background, whether you're from mechanical background, and all this, it doesn't matter. Okay, and with this, I'll end today's stream. And those who have attended these classes, they will get their certificate by tomorrow. And so I'm giving people a chance so that they can watch the replay of these videos and fill the attendance form, which I don't give outside. Okay, so that is there. And please see that if you still want a certificate, and then it will given by tomorrow end. Okay, it will given by tomorrow end. You still have time. Okay, thank you all.